Post-it note above my thing now that says start the recording. so, so we remember.
Yeah.
But I didn't know if we were to that point yet. So.
Yeah, see, Teresa's with me. She says, yeah, it'd be difficult to stay in one spot. I mean, we're so used to moving around. Oh, man. And someone else said that the teacher's supposed to stay away. They're staying in a certain area away from the students. Wow. Now, there's some students I wouldn't mind staying away from. Just saying.
Teachers moving classrooms. Now that's interesting.
Oh, wow.
Keep the kids maybe in the same focus group. My kids this summer are in a camp, and they're doing a really good job with it, but they're in the same group of, I think it's like 8 or fewer kids, and there are like 2 kids per 6-foot table, and they wash hands before they go to any other room throughout the day. They take their temperature twice a day. So this is really interesting, maybe having the teachers changing classrooms. That would certainly be less movement throughout the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone said we are departmentalized and 5 teachers will be rotating.
Wow.
For grades 4 through 6. Wow. Well, it's
teachers need to get. We should have roller skates then, right?
Much as the kids and the teachers.
We got a yes, hardcore yes on that one. The class. Someone said the classrooms aren't big enough for the kids to travel, sanitizing in between. Yeah, it'd be interesting. It'd be an experience for us. We'll get through this together, though.
Yeah.
We will. But all right, group, we're gonna fire this up and go ahead and do some chatting about the interactions with the sun and moon. Sorry, I just like the title.
Is that what we're starting with, or are we starting with season?
Well,
the title doesn't matter.
Huh? Isn't it just one PowerPoint? It's just one.
Oh, it's just one. Oh, that's the title of the slide. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I came up with that title, and it's awesome. Don't judge my title.
Okay. I needed to see the slide.
Okay. All right, we got the slide up. Slides up, chats up. We're ready to rock and roll. This is a lot smaller than our waves one. You're welcome. Or I'm sorry, depending on if you really appreciate a bunch of stuff. With the seasons and the Earth, I like starting this using a radiometer. I got a radiometer literally when I was in college. I bought it like at an auction for a fundraiser. And so I bought it and I played with it before I got into the classroom. And I thought, oh, this is the coolest thing. And I love starting when we start about the seasons, start learning about the seasons and the tilt of the Earth. A radiometer, and through the video, when in the video I show and I talk about it, hopefully you watched it. If not, then some of what I say might not make sense if you haven't watched it. But the video for this one, you can do it with a single radiometer, which are like $10 or something like that, 15. I don't remember. I see Bill's put the link in. But yeah, if you could get one a year at least or something, or scrounge around and get several of them. The first time I lined them up and did that, I was teaching a classroom and I brought those. And I remember thinking, how am I going to teach this? And I thought, I'll put the radiometers and have them use the flashlights and we'll talk about the energy. And then, to be honest, it was by accident that I figured out using a whole line of them. And I literally ran out of them. And so I just used a light there. And I remember taking a video of it, and I was so pumped when they were on before the kids came back. There was one of those split classes. They were there, then they went to lunch, then they came back, and I was so excited when they got back because you line those radiometers up, and you can see that direct light. Those are spinning like crazy, and further away it goes, less it spins. And it is just like, boom, it's there. What I used to do for this, no, I don't think I mentioned this in the video. Oh, bonus work. What I used to do for this, I had a big old halogen, one of those shop lights, one of those puppies, if you touch, you can like burn your skin off. Yeah, I brought that in the classroom. It's I'm not saying it's my best idea, but anyway, then I had a bunch of a bunch of small thermometers, you know, those cheap ones we get in the classroom. And so I had kids, we use different angles on that, and we would put like literally put them, hang them in an arc around that, and it worked pretty good. But I hated having that big old thing on there, knowing that that was so hot. And they kind of got the idea of it, kind of, and then the further the way they were, it would be cooler. So what did they start thinking? The misconceptions. Oh, the whole elliptical pattern. They're like, oh yeah, it's elliptical and it's further away. And I'm like, crap, failed. And then the radiometer idea came in. And once I started using that for distance, indirect light, I'm like, okay, this is a visual. The kids will get. But then I had some teachers like, well, okay, I really don't have any. I'm like, well, if you get one, though, just one, you can move it or move the light and wait and move the light and wait. Okay, it takes a little longer. I'm sorry, but it's still doable. It's something we can do without having to spend too much money. And so,
and I think if you're going to do that, Stephen, I just want to jump in real quick that you said it's easier to speed the radiometers up than it is to slow them back down. So you might consider starting with the light the farthest away that you're going to test it, and then slowly bring it closer and closer. It's just going to maybe work a little.
And make sure when we say closer, we don't mean physically closer, but like angle it, right?
Okay, yeah.
We have the same distance, but then we're talking about direct versus more indirect. And so the more direct it is, but keep at it the same angle best you can. I know in the video it was a little hard to see what angle we were, but when I tried to keep that light kind of in the middle of them, but directed here,
Yes.
I probably should have then turned it so you could see that change. I should have done that probably. Hindsight, you guys are like period 1, period 2, it'll be better. But but this is a really good one because it like I said, but don't move it further and closer, because then we're feeding that misconception about that exaggerated elliptical. And so I like this. I think it does a really good job with that. Then the other two things on this slide, or on this this part, is the model of the moon. Now, if you've been in earlier sections, you know that we harp on making the kids a journal, making those science notebooks, and so they're always recording things in science notebooks. I really like, before we even start our moon unit, assign that you draw what the moon looks like for a month ahead of time. And I know it's somebody like, dude, that's so impractical. I know it's hard sometimes to get them to do that, but I'm talking ideal world right there. I understand that, but if you can get them to do that, just to start noticing. I mean, hey, at their age, they've noticed the moon changes. They know that. And then they start seeing that pattern, and they have their own data, their documentation, their proof, so they can that's their evidence for the claim. But as someone mentioned, they just use flashlights instead of clamp light. In the video we put, that's what we started off with, was just the flashlights. And I started using the radiometer just for just an inquiry thing. I would put it on a table, not let anybody touch it, and we just talk about what it could do and brainstorm and stuff like that. It used to just be an inquiry thing before I started transferring it over to, oh wait, I can introduce seasons this way, direct and indirect. The moon, yes, on the moon, you do the journal if possible. Have them journal that, whether you give them extra credit or just make an assignment or whatever you can do. Have them journal that. And then the with the flashlights, Aaron might have been talking about the light.
The styrofoam ball.
Yeah, I was thinking still on radiometer in the back of my head. I was talking about the styrofoam ball. I just use that clamp light with yeah, I'm reading comments as it comes. I'm sorry. I need to stop that. You two read that. Well, I can't. I see it says there's a question there, but I'm not sure what it is. We'll come to that in 1 second. But I used the big clamp, and then with that light, if you put that light up there, it doesn't matter. Kids don't have to circulate around it and stuff. All they have to do is move, and they'll be able to see that the waxing and waning. And so that was, I thought, a really good way of doing that. I first saw someone do this years ago at, I think it was NESTA conference, one of their breakouts at NSTA, and they were using like a foam Nerf ball or something. And I remember someone doing it there, and I think they used like a flashlight. And so, yes.
So the question, the comment was that this person's been using science notebooks for 20 plus years and considering going from a paper notebook to a digital. And they want to know if you had any thoughts.
Oh, I think that's an outstanding idea. Now, and you don't have to get overly fancy with the digital notebook. I mean, you could go as simple as using Google Docs to keep it. You could use, like we did with slides, to each thing was a different slide. You do slides. You could use, we used
Jamboard, really, because you could add a new slide for every time you have a new thought. I think you could just keep increasing that number of slides, almost like a Google Slides is kind of how Jamboard works. And then they can still doodle. I guess if they want to make notes, though, they'd have to text. So maybe Google Slides might work too.
You know, we've talked about the Google Science Journal.
Yes.
So earlier we were showing people about the Google Science Journal. Definitely think that's a good one to use for different experiments and stuff. And I've only played with it with experiments. I haven't tried it with the other stuff. Sarah, I think you messed with it even more than me.
Yeah,
and
I did.
Other things, is it pretty good on that still?
I think it still is, and I know it does. If you're a Google school, and I think that's the thing, your students will still have that. They'll still have access to their files through that, so they would have their own. You know, it could be linked to their Google user account in the G Suite. I think the Google Science Journal is good if you're collecting data for that, but if you're like number data with sensors, but I don't know. I haven't played enough with it to really know.
I know Jane's mentioned, couldn't the students still just like sketch it out and then just take a picture of it, put it in? And yeah, of course, yeah, definitely. Yes. I mean, that'd be definitely an easy solution to do that.
Thinking really that we had just interviewed a teacher who was using Google Slides, and I think she was doing more of a computer science thing. But to me, I think that really worked well for her. Everything was done within Google Slides, and she could see where the students were. But then you can import your pictures. You can import text if you're doing text. You can create links out to that. Students can be on the same Google Slides collaborating if they need to be collaborating. I think maybe that might, I don't know.
In there, Bill, do you remember, I cannot remember some of the notebooking, the journaling the teachers in that Jeff workshop were using when we did that high school workshop. Do you remember the names of any of those off the top of your head?
No, but I can look them up real quick while we're going, and I'll put them in that chat.
Okay, because I remember using one of them was a Microsoft something, one of the Microsoft ones. They were having good luck with that, and one of them I remember I had to use my iPad to use. I don't remember the names of them. I'm so sorry.
I have to look this up and have this be one of our releases. This digital notebooks.
Oh, that's a really good idea. That's a really good idea. Talking about digital notebooking on one of our Thursday releases. When she talked about Thursday releases, we've mentioned some of the earlier videos. If you haven't been at one, what Sarah referred to there was the Superheroes of Science, the channel that we have on YouTube. Mm-hmm. On Mondays, we release an interview with a science content person. We have worksheets to go with those. On Thursdays, it's like a 20 to 30 minute professional development. It's just like going to a conference, but one session every Thursday. And it's most of those are teachers that we've interviewed on things that they're using.
And things are working well for them.
Yeah.
Right now.
And so that's what she's referring to there. And if you're doing something, you're like notebooking, especially since we're getting questions about that. If you're doing digital notebooking and you feel it's working really well, give us a holler. I know a
Yes, we'd
couple of
love to
teachers
hear.
that are. I think I could reach out to them, and we could probably do a whole series on that if that'd be useful.
And if you have a digital notebook idea that's working well for you, we want to talk to you. I promise other teachers want to hear about what's working.
Mm-hmm. We need to know what teacher to contact. All right, now jump back over to the thing real fast. Bill's looking up the names of the ones that we were talking about. And someone had mentioned there that it would be really helpful to be able to transition between paper and digital. And yes, I think we need to probably do a better job of showing the different ways of doing that. A couple of years ago, we really worked into it. Someone mentioned they only see the comments and questions from the panelists on the chat. I don't know why you can't see everyone. That's why we're trying to repeat them. I'm not sure why they don't view to everyone. I'm uncertain if it's a setting or if it's just WebEx. But that's why we are trying to repeat them for you.
There is right above where you type in the chat. I know it's letting me change it. I don't know if it lets the other participants change it, but
it won't let participants change that.
Okay. Okay.
I logged in as a participant earlier and it wouldn't let me do that.
Yeah, we did something in the settings. We'll try to fix this even for tomorrow's sessions.
And someone had just put in the chat, thank you, Amber. There's a Facebook group called Science Digital INBS. That's been a great resource. I'm going to copy that.
I got it.
You got that?
Yep.
Sorry, I'd already hit it just as you said it. But oops, I keep going wrong. All right, so we will go. We will dive deeper into notebooks and make sure we will do some releases on that for you to give you as much as we can. Interactive notebooks.
Okay.
That makes sense because I was struggling for that INB. Thank you for the clarification. Interactive notebooks is what INB with the lowercase s stands for. But okay, well I know where we need to go based off what you guys are asking for.
Yes.
All right, let me finish up there. Explain this last activity real fast. We have the video on it, of course, and that's the phases of a moon in a cup. Now, that's where we just used the 2 clear cups and a sticker, and we had every student got their own cup, and they just turned it. It's kind of a review piece. You know, it's an all right activity. It didn't blow me away. It was an okay one. Some of the classes that did it, they were a little excited about it and kind of responded well. While other classes that did it were like, okay, Smith. And so you have to gauge with your students if that's something feasible, and if you can give them a cup to use and stuff. But you could always use the wipe off markers and repeat it for another class with the same cups, so you didn't have to give them up. But it was, I don't know, if you do have a smaller groups or something, that was kind of a fun review thing to be able to spin that and see the change. And so that's why I included that in there. And of course, there's the video explaining those both a little bit better. And then on our resources for this one, the day and night world map, that is going to be up on my new monitor thing my son's building me. Misconceptions. When we talk about moon, it's a great spot to start talking about misconceptions in science. Seems like there's plenty of them about the moon. The bad astronomy link was basically misconceptions again. The Star Child, that had a lot about the moon. And I think that's where, if I remember right, I'll click it to be sure. There we go. And so it did a great job showing the phases of the moon on this one. I thought the explanations in this was well written. And so however put it this way. OneNote. Thank you, Bill. That's the one I was thinking of. OneNote was one a lot of my teachers were using. And someone said they liked the suggestion in the video about the moon phases as using it as an extension or extra activity. That's how I ended up resorting to it. As I mentioned in the video, that way it was just something extra, and it got the ones who will be excited to get through to do something extra, gave them something to look forward and do and keep busy and to help them still at the same time. But And so, yeah, I just thought this was kind of neat where they gave the different things. That's why I included that as a resource. But all right, I'm going to stop sharing because that was the last slide for this one. And jump back over here. And so it sounds like I know that we definitely need to put up more for transitioning into digital notebooking for you. The OneNote, thank you for looking that up for us. That's we did a large workshop, and a lot of the schools we worked with in this technology workshop. They were using OneNote very successfully with their students. I remember playing with it after the workshop, and I'm like, okay, this is pretty cool. I could do this. And so there is another good way for journaling. But what kind of other question? Do you have things on OneNote to share? Your Microsoft No Training, of course, it's no training. That's the way they do us teachers. Rachel, I tell you, we don't yet, but Sarah and I will get something. We will I'll try to find some of the teachers that used it before. And we will get an interview here in the next couple weeks going, and we'll put something up on the Superheroes of Science one.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we got that recorded. So
should I share that so they know what I'm talking about? If you just saw the last one, I'm sorry to repeat this part. Did that pop up?
Yeah, it did.
Okay, the Superheroes of Science. I think Bill shared the I don't know, the Twitter one or something I saw you posted. But the Superhero Science, this is where we have all the videos, and the different playlists is what will give you. The Classroom Edition is what we're talking about right here. Here's season 2. We'll view this full one. This is where almost every Thursday we release a 20 to 30 minute episode that has the different something. I mean, here's a Poindexter talking about Seesaw, teachers talking about Zoom, teachers talking about coding, different ways of doing coding, project-based learning. And so these are just things like you guys have mentioned, it'd be nice to know some more about OneNote. And so we tracked down and found people that did, and we interviewed them. There's the Flipgrid ones, Padlet, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say the one that kind of had the blue background, and I don't see it on the screen now, but it was Carrie's with the student fatigue and or student collaboration and tech fatigue. She's the one that was talking about that. I really liked her idea, how she was using the Google Slides. I'm pretty sure, I think that was her, wasn't it?
Oh. Yeah, Google Slides.
Yeah, she's using a digital interactive notebook for it, and it was really neat. She goes really through how she organized everything. I got a lot of really great ideas from her in that, so that's a really good one to watch.
And so we have the as we mentioned in the earlier, I don't mean to be repeating myself, and I'm sorry if you had one with the different playlists. We have our what do you call it? The science ones. Mm-hmm. I'm just everywhere right now. I'm sorry. Here's the different science ones that we have.
STEM content.
STEM content. There you go. And we talked about a lot of them. We have worksheets to go to. Like here's Bob Nowak's for earthquakes. And so if we're teaching something like that, we ask him questions that goes along with that. And teachers, a lot of our teachers will assign these ahead of time, and or just a follow up to let them know like the career path type things, and actually learn from a STEM professional, which is really kind of cool. Andy Freed's is one of my favorite. Betsy Parks in chemistry and pharmacy. Hers is awesome. But so there's just a lot of them. And if you're going to do a unit down the road, you're like, it'd be nice if the kids could hear from someone who's researching or someone who's working in an area on this particular topic, and you want something in particular, let us know. We'll hunt people down, and we'll find them and talk them into, pressure them into doing an interview. This gal did Caroline Kosak. She is an engineer in charge of the moon suit for the lunar space station. And we have someone here with the lunar flashlight. Was that Barbara Cohen did the flashlight?
Yeah, that's Barbara. Yeah.
The mission where they're looking for water on the moon in the craters.
Ice on the
ice.
Pools, the polar caps.
And so there's there's those things. Those are pretty good. Well, I think.
Yeah, and Rachel, thank you for mentioning that. We interviewed Sarah McAnulty, who is one of the founders of Skype to Scientist. So we have an interview with her too. She kind of talks about the process of getting involved with that. So if you've ever been curious about Skype to Scientist, she's one of ours on there that she kind of tells you all that's involved in getting connected with scientists.
Yeah. So we interviewed the gal and that started it, just to find out more about it for our teachers. But you say, are there any more questions and stuff you have about this unit? This is to me, a little bit simpler unit, and yet it's still a little bit abstract. They see the moon about every day, and they're up later than me, and so. But still, it's those phases can be kind of tricky to go through. Hopefully, these help. But and remember, as we keep saying in all these videos, we're really here to help you in any way we can. And so if there's resources that you need us to put together, we'll do it. We'll find someone that's expert in it, and we will get stuff to put together for you. This
Absolutely.
is literally what we do.
If you get started in this semester and something else gets thrown at you and I don't know where to go with this, just feel free to email us. You have all of our emails in the docs, in the 6th grade PD doc that we have there, but you can reach all of us in one shot with k12science@purdue.edu. And that's kind of in general email. It's going to reach out to outreach staff here in the College of Science.
There we go. This is a shorter one for you all. We'll give you a minute or two to ask questions. If you have any more about this, and then we'll jump off if we don't get any. Oh, here's a good question. How did Bill and Sarah get so lucky to work with someone as awesome as Stephen? Huh,
Was that only sent to the host?
Huh?
Was that only sent to the host?
Yes. We drew the short straws.
I didn't type it. Oh, wait. Yeah, I did. All right, we're going to repeat this. Now, I know most of you are 6th grade teachers, and so that's why you're on this. Do look at the others. And you're very welcome for us being virtual. We're so glad it worked out and that we could help this many people. This has just been marvelous, and we've got contacted from people. I know this is actually on NSTA's calendar of events on their website. They've put us on their calendar for this workshop, which was pretty cool.
Really special.
Yeah, but if there are, I can say, look through. I know a lot of people are from out of state. Also, look through the 7th and 8th grade. If there is a topic in there that you teach, jump into that one. Check that one out. We have those also, and so we have resources on each of the grade levels. Kind of went through the standard, picked out big ones that would help people the most, and but the others, if you're like, oh wait, we teach that, then yeah, jump over, do that. Check those out later in the week and all that. What were we gonna say?
And if you don't have that link, all of you have my email because I'm the one that's been emailing you initially. Throw me an email and I can send you the link for the 7th and 8th grade stuff if you don't have it already.
Perfect. And thank you, Amber.
Yes, thank you, Amber. I'm trying to respond to everybody as fast as I can. Thank you.
Do the links come out daily? Which links?
If you're talking about the links for the 7th and 8th grade, we sent out based off of what people signed up for. So if you only signed up for 6th grade, you got the 6th grade links.
Can we just post that real fast so everybody has those?
Yeah, give me a second.
We'll post those real fast so you guys have them and you can look them over. Yeah, it was some of the social media posts we did. We included them all in when we found out that we could open them up. But so yeah, we'll get that to you real fast right now.
So there's the 7th grade link.
Steven, you have the shorter Bitly links. Do you just want to cut and paste those?
Oh, I do. You're right.
There's the 8th grade link.
You know, an easy way to find each of them is
I'll just put. How about we'll put the links to the other grade levels in the 6th grade doc.
yeah. Well,
So
yeah.
start in this one,
On the
and then
bottom of all the docs.
yeah, we'll just put them in all for all the grade levels, and that way you can just jump to whichever ones are.
I just don't want to confuse the people who were not here yet, and then they go in there and they start clicking on other.
Well, I'll put a thing like, if you're also interested in 7th grade materials, you can go here.
Maybe,
Yeah,
put,
your bottom.
maybe put it at the bottom. Yeah.
Bottom. Well, yeah, we'll put it at the bottom. And we made little bit.lys, and it's like bit.ly 2020 grade 8 is 8th grade PD, you know, grade 7th PD, grade 6 PD. I was so clever. But yeah, we'll put those. Yeah, Sarah, you going to put those in the bottom now?
Yep.
Aaron asked if we have a Superheroes of Science page on Facebook. We did not create one just for Facebook of that. Sarah and I have Facebook accounts for chemistry and Earth atmospheric planetary sciences.
Mm-hmm. We have a Twitter account. We're at Purdue SOS on Twitter. And then most things that we post to Twitter, we post through our Facebook accounts for our departments. And then there are links to both of our Facebook pages off of the beginning slide of Superheroes of Science. So you're going to see a link to, I think, Purdue University, and then both of our Facebooks, and then our Twitter feed as well.
Well, there you go. That'll work.
Oh, Danielle, I'm sorry about that if you didn't get the links. Danielle mentioned she signed up for all 3. She got the emails, but not the links.
And Jane said she got the emails, but not the survey. I did get the survey for one from earlier, but it took a little bit. So
I got one survey from one session and not from another session. So, but you should have received an email though that just said that you were present, and I think that works as proof as well. That, am I correct in saying that, Bill?
Yes.
It said that you were here, you were attending, and I think it had the date and the time and everything. So
yeah.
Okay. I'm not seeing new questions pop up.
I think the surveys will come a little later. I just think it takes a little bit for it to get there.
Okay. Well, if you don't get them, you don't
should get the attendance email regardless.
Yeah.
They say that proves that they were in it.
Yes.